Hey, how's everybody doing today? All right, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Big Chonis, or you guys can find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. These are all my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. I'm a crypto trader, an investor, a mentor, a chart psychologist. Please do your own research. I'm also a featured contributor to the Bitcoin Live platform. Great place to learn about crypto and trading ideas. Hope to see you over there. Okay, so let's look at some Bitcoin here. We are stuck at 33332, and we have been in this area of this, let's just call it 3250 area, for kind of a while now. Like, the longer we tend to stay in certain areas, the more potential I have to think, at least for a time, we can potentially find these areas actually as support. And what we want to continuously look for is those signs that we could at least find some stability in this area. Now, we talk about all of our indicators, and we use circumstances when we are oversold or overbought as ideas to basically take trades on. And to be in these conditions, especially on the weekly chart here, where we are so outside of our Bollinger again for a one, two, three, fourth week in a row, just hovering over our MA 200, which is our red line right here. And to be this bearish, especially on a weekly time frame, I mean, just unprecedented, at least in this modern era of Bitcoin pricing here. Now, finally, we have our upper Bollinger beginning to turn over here. It's still way up here at $8,000. And this has to catch up and get a little closer to our lower BB, because we're actually spread quite wide now. We see just how tight we were only able to get on our weekly Bollingers here, and just see how this move has brought us still very wide, and how hard we have to get to even touch, let's say, our EMA 12 at 5,000, or even our middle Bollinger at almost 6,000 and falling. Red 5 on the weekly here. RSI under 30 on the weekly here, right? So we're seeing once again these areas where we would feel like we are super oversold, especially on a weekly time frame, areas where you want to see some sort of a turnaround. Aha, so look at our indicators here on our Stoke. Remember, we want to get down as low as we can. I'll feel more confident in a reset. And look how we're just almost there. We're not at 0 yet. We're at like 2. And we're at 2 on both of our indicators, which is interesting, because remember, our orange one here, that's our lagging indicator, and it takes a lot more time for this thing to catch up to our blue line. But you can see how we're getting closer to these pancakes. I want to see at least one of these touch the 0 line, like it did here, with both of them in February. Remember, this marked our February 5th bottom here, and quite a nice bounce. I want to see both of them get down there. We're close, but we're not there just yet. Look at our chalk and money flow again. I'm on the weekly, little higher time frame here. We're only a couple days into the week, but what we're watching for is, where can we see any signs that we're finding some stability? If all of our upper term indicators, look at our OBB oscillator here, it's so weak still. We're not really showing us where we're finding that kind of change in momentum. I want to go out even wider. Let's go to our monthly chart. Okay, what does our monthly looks like? Yikes! I mean, look at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 5th red month in a row. As soon as we were unable to achieve getting above our middle Bollinger Band, as well as our EMA 12, both of those showed very strong resistance in that move there, and that basically is consistent with what we've been watching in terms of this bearish market we've been in here for now it's month 2, but really it's really many months here. But since the break of 6K, we're in this whole new chapter of Bitcoin. Now notice our lower Bollinger here, we're at 700, and this rose quite a bit when it actually had this bear break here. So we're beginning to at least turn around our upper BB on our monthly. Again, this is about time. This chart represents time. And it's going to take a lot of time for our upper Bollinger and for our lower Bollinger to get a lot closer. They are still extremely wide on the monthly. except for the yearly. I mean, this is a very high time frame here to be so wide still. This is like a great white shark, still mouth wide open, and these have to get tighter. We also see kind of really ignore a volume profile right now. We're only a third of the way a month, and we're pretty consistent with probably putting in another very high volume month. Notice our overall average volume line hasn't even fallen yet, and we're also seeing couple things here about, we can go to our higher term time frames and look for those areas where we're actually, wow, I can't believe we're so low. I can't believe we're so low. So look at this. Look at our stoke. Okay, now both of our indicators on our monthly stochastic, okay, are practically at zero. Our blue one, let's zoom in here. We're gonna get really tight. We get really tight and see exactly where we're at, because this is significant on a monthly time scale. Okay, there's our zero line. So look at our blue. Our blue is clearly zeroed out. Okay, but look at our red here. You can kind of see it up top here on my screen. It's at 0.2853. So it's not zeroed out, but it's so close. And wouldn't it be interesting to see both our indicators on the monthly, the highest of time frames, to be zeroed out? Now our MACD, nothing here. We're still cascading both directions. Okay, we have our oscillator, we have our histogram, nothing good here except for just the oversold nature of the situation, that we're seeing so oversold in that circumstance. Maybe that's a signal. Okay, now look at our squeeze momentum. I mean, yikes. Okay, but we're watching for those similar green volume bar. Remember, these were our bull volumes here, okay? And now these are our, well, not bull volume, but shows how high we can get on a monthly, equating to potentially how low we could get on our monthly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's take some time here, folks. Ooh, interesting. So this is our on balance volume oscillator. We broke in the negative in November, and we're still accelerating that move here. So again, we're falling in that negative decline of hodlers of Bitcoin, because let me bring up Bitstamp has a little bit more history here. So look at where we're at. We're once again breaking through our lower line here. There we go. There's our green line here. Okay, this was our previous 2015 January, early January. Remember, this was our Bitcoin net low, 150 bucks about. Okay, we've broken through that area on the monthly in more of a bearish sense. Remember, this can pull up and close above this line if we get through the month with a bullish Bitcoin. But right now we're sub it. And that's a new all-time low, at least intra-month, that we know of right now for Bitcoin. Let me go back to Coinbase here, and let's go in to where we want to look at, which is a lower time frame. Go to my 4-hour here, and let's look at, I'm watching my, there we go. I'm watching my bear channel, our green here, okay? And I'm going to get rid of my Bollingers. Before I do, notice our 4-hour Bollingers here. Okay, we just did a 9. Ooh, interesting candles here. Look at this. Before I go, look at that. 4-hour candles here. We did a 9, followed by a very, not really high wave, just because we're talking about 40 bucks in either direction here, but interesting battle here. I kind of like this candle here, where we had a 9, we had a fight, the bulls and the bears, and we closed our body right, at least with an inside bar from the body standpoint, within the previous body's the previous candle's body. But our volume is just crappy. Our volume is just so crappy right now because there's no buyers right now. There's no buyers, but there's no sellers. Okay, a lot of the selling is dried up, and we actually have a liquidity pool of buyers every time we get down to this $3,200 range. As we get a little closer to our MA200 on our weekly. Okay, here it is again, 34. That was our buying pool that broke. Here's our liquidity pool here. We have a liquidity pool here, but it's weak. It's weak. There's not a lot going on here. Who's in the chat room today? 124 of my closest friends. Manny, Dragon, the Wombly Jello. What's up? Claiborne Taylor, Matan Van Region, Amit Kamur, Naraz, James Ashmore, Ryan, Kane Gomes, Claire D, Molly the French Bulldog, Carl Froman, Massimo, Freer Soul Park, C for Crypto, SS Swartz 88, Queen Satoshi. Hello, Queen Satoshi. Good to have you here. Clear D Pat Can, Atari IO, Mike Buckmaster, Noble One. Here they come. What's up, guys? Yeah, hello, Luca. Thanks for joining me here. So yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, listen, I think we probably can have several more legs down. I mean, let me talk about probably. I mean, this is our bear channel. We can't get through our bear channel here. And until we can get above this line, it's just downward pressure. And if we go down again, then we're going to touch, I feel, our middle channel support. Look how it was our little support resistance riding it here. We broke above it. We found support right almost on it. I mean, we're just talking about wicks here, people. So we're very close. There it is. And if we break again, okay, now this is the 4 hour, so we're not going to just plummet. If you see the size of our, except for this guy's pretty big here, but most of our 4 hour candles, even the bigger ones, aren't that crazy. It would take, at least a day and a half or so potentially to get down here if we broke really bearish to retest, our middle support, and that would put a 3K test and break probably in play, looking at the $2,900 area. And frankly, sipping my drink here. Let's say we do get down to that 3K area, and there's going to be a big wall of buyers, that kind of like that wall right at 3K. And normally when we see those things, they call the flush, where there's a super dump, it flushes through the big wall. It takes a couple attempts sometimes, like a Pac-Man. It chews it, it tries to bite down that buy wall, it bites it down, it eats it through it, and you have that final break, and then that final break, maybe we get to 2,800, maybe 2,950. It's like, whoa, that was the big wall. It's broken. And then the price action kind of stabilizes there. And you actually say, wow, maybe buyers, maybe the wall broke, but we're now behind it now. But those circumstances tend to have big snapbacks. So like in February, I think I was watching it when we broke 6,000. It was this big wall at 6,000. It broke through. We got to about 58.50, and then there was that big snapback because it was like, whoa, okay. So if we do a test 3K, I'm fairly convinced we're going to break it. And the way you can see those walls is just you look at the depth chart on a couple of exchanges, and it will basically show you that. But I'm not looking at that yet because I want to get closer. I want to get closer to 3K before I really start to analyze those buy walls and see if it's really a situation here. Martin reminds me to look at the shorts and longs here. So interesting day here in shorts and longs. I was noting yesterday we had the longs break close below our channel support, and then they actually caused a little slingshot back up. Now we're back up, and we're back up above the 200 MA on the daily. Interesting. Shorts here, still tweezer top. That's ominous. From a bearish standpoint, that's actually a good sign bullishly to have that tweezer rejection in the all-time high area. However, shorts can range in this area. I feel it's a very good possibility that they could range in this area, and because of that, that could allow them to reconstitute and get back up and not just retest or break through the new all-time high area, but actually accelerate through it and really actually get to get higher. And listen, I think the shorts need to get a lot higher to signify more of a bottom. And for the shorts to get higher, what has to happen? Well, two things here. The price could rise a little bit more, okay? And, people are in some circumstances waiting to load up their short leverage if Bitcoin got higher, if it did break out at least to test the high $3,800 area, maybe even 4K, because they might feel, okay, now that the little profits have been taken from this area, it's going to fall back down because they know there's no retail right now in this market. And we see that here on our coin market cap. Bitcoin dominance 55.1. So keep an eye on this, guys, because I expect this to be over 60%. I want to see this over 60% the closer we get to a bottom. I think that would be a really good sign because what that shows is that altcoin capitulation that I'm waiting for. You know, a lot of these coins have to really dump, and that last little bit of money needs to flow into Bitcoin. Remember, if you sell an altcoin, it's going to convert to Bitcoin first, unless you're selling it from fiat. Um, but well, yeah, no. If you're selling an altcoin, yeah, if you're selling an altcoin and to the BTC pairing, it's going to convert to Bitcoin. So you should see that Bitcoin dominance rising, and we're starting to see that. We were at 52, 53%. Okay, most of the past couple weeks. Now we're in the 55s. Market cap. Now this is a scary thing. Not only does Bitcoin and crypto need to hold 100 billion. Okay, we can't be a viable world market if we're not over $100 billion. We just can't be. We're not going to get any ETFs. We're not going to get any institutional money if this market cannot hold over 100 billion. And there's a very good chance it could drop below 100 billion. Now that drop below could be a nice, interesting bottoming area as well. We can see, like, maybe I could totally see a scenario where we get to like 97 billion, and then you have a big snapback back over 100. We got to as low as 104 a couple days ago, got as high as 112, and now we're back to 107. Weak volume. Look at Bitcoin here. Historical data. So 5 billion, 5 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion. So this is interesting. We've seen in the past when we bounce, it's because of sell volume has decreased. Okay, so we're getting lower volume profile is interesting to me. It makes me feel like we may be finding at least some sort of a stability in this range here. Okay, now the patterns we're putting in here, it's still just falling in this channel. So the patterns, the wedges, the triangles, to me right now they're just kind of meaningless, just because there's, from a technical standpoint, there are reasons why we should be finding stability after, let's face it, a 50% drop, right, in a couple of weeks. The problem with that is because we were manipulated so much above 6K, okay, that the market is now compensating for that in a big way. So the bearishness can be exacerbated because of that situation. I want to bring up my 6 hour here. I got my EMA 12. I got where's my 26? There we go. And these are my two indicators that, if I use Coinbase Pro, these are the ones that are up there. And I watch the interaction, okay, between the price action and these two EMAs on the 6 hour chart. What do we see here? We see how strong our EMA 12 was, all the way down here. We see how we wicked out right on it on this candle. Okay, now we broke through it. We broke through our 26 as well. That was too fast. Came back in, and then look how our 26 to the tip right there found that resistance. Okay, now it came back. Okay, it came back, and now once again our EMA 12 is that resistance. So any bull pop, 3,400 area is that resistance. Another push higher, 3,500. And these are my two indicators that for now, until we can do something like this. Now watch how, I remember I put a tweet out about this when it was almost happening here, not yet. Here, this was that bull cross, okay, that never happened. It got rejected, and then we fell, okay? So the next time we do that, okay, we're going to be watching these to see if we have a similar fake out or if we can actually do it. Even with this bullish momentum here, we were unable to cross here, but we do see how spread we were on the EMAs here, where we got spread, we got a little tighter. Now we're We're not that spread. I kind of want to see these to get closer, and that can happen with a little bit of a bullish pop. But right now, we just see how strong that EMA 12 resistance is. Let's go to my daily chart here. Look at our daily candle. Okay, now this is what I talk about our ranging. We lower volume, but we keep ranging, okay, in this area here. So this is telling me, at least for now, we're not ready to capitulate just yet, okay, in this area here. Doesn't mean we can't turn on a dime. We've seen it many times. Every daily candle has a wick, even if it's a small one. We have one now in our candle. We have a little under 4 hours to go. And look at how low our volume is here. Okay, so this is interesting to me that we have a low volume. Even though it's a bearish candle, we're still holding in the range. How very important it will be not to put in a lower low, okay? Because we've been able to hold 33.80, okay, candle low for 4-5 candles here. Now we're gonna put in a new, if we close here, we're now putting in a new lower low for that daily candle close, and that's just really bad all around. So the bulls have 4 more hours to make this look a little better, try and get this body higher up here. Okay, if not, then this candle could proceed to another worse candle tomorrow. It's all about the appearance of this candle. The low volume is notable. RSI, I mean, just under 30. This is just weak. Relative strength index, not a lot of strength. Let's take a look briefly at a couple other things here. Ethereum, 88. Look at just this daily RSI. You thought Bitcoin's weak. Daily RSI, 25. Okay. Litecoin, daily RSI, 27. Okay, we're not finding, remember, this is relative strength there, Ethereum Classic, 30. So we have a lot of these coins, except for Doggy, right? Look at Doggy. Champion, that's 60. So we have a lot of these coins that are so low in the RSI spectrum here. Ethereum's daily. Actually, I don't want to be on Phoenix. I want to be Coinbase. There we go. Let's look at some TDs here. Okay, so daily, we had a price flip. We didn't, after this Super 9 bleed out, price flip, bear flag break, 86. Volume's decreasing though, very similar profile. Let's look at Litecoin. I can look at Stamp, that's fine. Bleeding 9, interesting. Bleeding 9, not a very good looking 9 though. The fact that we put in a lower low there, $23. I mean, $23, you know. And today's close, again, just like with Bitcoin, if we close in this area here, we will put down a new lower low for the close. That is not what we want. Bitcoin Cash, SV, daily, giving back. Remember, it broke 100, 86. So we're giving back a lot of that, but we're stable at least. Again, volume declining. ABC under 100. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, look at that. We're doing a 13 combo on the daily. That's interesting. Keep an eye on that here because, again, we're putting in a lower low on the close. So everything is suggesting we should be getting close. Now, our Dow Jones, okay, isn't really helping us too much today. We had a very wacky day of trading. We were up a lot. We were kind of back down. I have a lot of feeling that the Dow needs to, and the S&P, they need to stabilize and continue some sort of a bull market. I think that's very bearish for crypto if it doesn't. This is not going to bring free money into crypto if the Dow and the Nasdaq and the larger averages continue to break bearish. Because listen, that's the wealth effect. Without that extra wealth effect, we're not going to get that money that we want to see, flowing back into crypto. So one last check here on Bitcoin, and then we'll call it a show. And where are we here? Coinbase. Okay, so remember, we're a bleeding 9 on our daily Coinbase. I'm going to go into just a 15-minute, take a look at some very short-term indicators here, see where we're at. So very tight range here. Looking for body close 33.14. So another tap. Remember, when we have these cascades that look like they're about to fall apart, we tend to get these crazy candles here, okay? But look at our volume is so meaningless, okay? But keep an eye on short-term volume spikes to get a sense of some loading potentially. All the people that bought in this area here, they're now underwater in this area here, so we're still stair-stepping lower. And that's what I see. That's what we're looking at. 130 of my closest friends. Thank you guys for joining me in the show. Please give me a thumbs up. Please follow me on Twitter. Please follow me on YouTube. And please consider becoming a subscriber to Bitcoin Live. Thank you guys. I'll be in touch. Big Chonis signing out. Talk to you guys soon.